Bom dia! Espero que tudo esteja indo bem para todos vocês. Good morning, and I hope everything has been going well for you guys. This is your man Larry, the American Brazilian. I know I haven't seen you in quite some time. Been doing some renovations to my business. Of course, when we got back from Brazil, we hit the ground running, trying to prepare for our next trip. Not sure, when and all of that, but it's hopefully soon. In any event, I hope you guys have been having a good holiday season, for those who celebrate the holidays. And if you don't, then hopefully you can kind of enjoy the atmosphere, because it does actually change during this time of the year. Well, in any event, I just kind of wanted to get on here really quick to just share some things that's been on my heart. I thought, if I guess you can say it that way. And this is actually the second time I've made this video, because for some reason, when I go by a tractor trailer, I don't know what it is, things just kind of like, pow, just go, just like cut off. So this is the second time I've made this video, which was crazy, because I think the first time when you make something, the authenticity is there and it's just dope. But the second time, it can actually be better, because you see things, you think, oh, you know what, maybe I should have said this, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Well, anyway, so I want to talk about respect, and I think it's befitting rather this time of season. And I want to talk about respect based on a few scenarios. Well, let me start from where on the last video, or the video that I made a few minutes ago. I talked about the relationship that I have with one of my uncles. And I have uncles in Atlanta, and they are very successful, and they are just, I have tried to emulate a portion of my life, particularly in regards to how I do business, from them, because they're very successful, right? If you're going to emulate somebody who's successful in what you're doing, and beware of those who are not. They say that there's a saying, rather, beware of the naked person that offers you their coat. So you don't want to try to emulate, them. But anyway, a few years ago, I had a situation where my wife at the time, we were attempting to close on a home. We had put a bid in, it had been accepted, and one part of the process, which this was many years ago, and I think maybe it's the same now, I'm not sure. And that was this: there's a certain amount of money that you had to have in the bank. And there's a certain amount of money you had to have in the bank that they could verify that you could either pay for it or afford the down payment, that even if it was a gift, you had to have something saying that it was a gift or whatever. Anyway, they just wanted to make sure you could pay for it. And I think it was a small number. I think we were like $2,500 short. And the reason why is because we had something prior to do that we had to reallocate some of those resources that were saved. And hold on for 1 second. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm sorry, I had a phone call. It was a business thing. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, so I needed about $2,500 to put in the bank. My wife and I at the time, take these things off. And so I called my uncle, and I would call him from time to time. I have a great relationship with my uncle, and both of my uncles. And so when I asked him for it, he said, okay, no problem. He said, well, let me ask you this. Would $5,000 be better? And I'm like, absolutely. So he gave me the money, and he said, well, you just give it back to me in 30 days, since you say you only need it for this. I was like, okay, cool. Well, the deal fell through. Things didn't go as planned, and it was like, I think we found that out about a week afterwards. So I rerouted the money back to him, and he called me, and he said, hey, what happened? And I told him what happened. He said, wow, man, that's unfortunate. He said, well, don't give up, things will work out, at some point. He said, I need to tell you some things. And I'm like, okay. Because I know my uncle, he will tell me if I'm doing something wrong. He'll chastise me in a good way. And he used to always challenge me, and I would always kind of shy away from him. But anything that he's ever told me that I instituted in my life, it worked out for my benefit. Well, anyway, he said, listen, he said, you want to know why I did that for you? I said, why? He said, because out of all of the relatives, he said, you're one of the few that calls me and check on me. He's saying, of course, you know that I don't need this or need that, but you always ask me how I'm doing and if I need anything, and you just call and talk to me. And he's not, you know, frail or anything. He's very vibrant. He runs, I don't know, 6-7 miles a day, Monday through Monday. So he's in very good condition. And I was like, wow. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, you know, one of your cousins called me and they wanted to borrow an X amount of money. He said, but I turned them down. He said, you want to know why? I said, why? He said, because they never called me. He said, they've never once called me to see how I was doing, to even have a conversation. They only called me because they needed something. And so he said, going forward, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call and ask, because you can get it. Well, fast forward to a couple of days ago, which is kind of the reason for this video about respect. I had a client that I deal with from time to time, and I hadn't seen him 3-4 months. But some of the times when I would see him, a few times, you know, he was kind of running short. You know, he had needed a little, personal life was like really, really small. And I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you needed some resources and you couldn't get them from anywhere. And I could only assume, which that's, you know, assume is not good to do, but I could only assume that he asked me, so maybe I was the only person that would say yes, or he thought that would say yes. Well, anyway, I gave them to him, no big deal. But I don't really like crossing that line in business, because sometimes when you allow people to get common, if the respect level is, if commonality is here and respect is here, then that's going to be a problem. But if commonality and respect is here, or if respect is here and commonality is here, that's always going to be a great working relationship. Because I think anytime people become more common with you and the respect level dwindles, then that's where abuse in the relationship begins to happen. They say when the purpose of a thing is not known or fully understood, abuse is inevitable. In situations like even relationships, that happens. Well, anyway, he came in and, you know, unbeknownst to him, I went up on my prices in my business, second time in 19 years. I know people might say, wow, second time? Well, I win by attrition. I have a pretty extensive clientele. So some people will go up every 3 or 4 years, and I don't knock that. But I didn't feel the need to, because my clientele is just pretty extensive. So when I went up, everybody was pretty much okay. Some people even said, man, why it took you so long? But anyway, I also instituted appointments, and I did a full renovation on my shop. So he came in and he said, well, you know, hey man, can I get this and can I get that, man? And I need to borrow, but you know, and I'm thinking to myself, hello, how are you doing? Hadn't seen you in a while. You been okay? That's what I'm thinking in my mind. And in the process of him asking for everything, I have a two-way mirror so I can see out of my business, but people can't see inside. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're driving a really nice car. And that really wasn't a factor, but it was kind of one of those things where like, okay. Well, anyway, hadn't seen him in a while, didn't say hello. The only thing that would come out of his mouth is he needed something. And so I told him, well, you know, I can't do it because I'm doing appointment only and your name is not on the thing, which he could have just said, well, do you have any appointments? He didn't say that. He said, well, can I borrow? No, you can't. No, I can't do that, man. I'm sorry, I can't do that. And he said, well, don't worry about it. I'll be back tomorrow, man. I have what I need. You think I saw him? Nope. It's been a few tomorrows since I saw him. I hadn't seen him. Probably won't. If I was a bed man, I wouldn't bet that I'd see him anytime soon. And I thought about something and I was like, man, I never want to be that guy. And hopefully if you're watching this, if you've ever been that person, don't be that person going forward. Nobody likes that, because it's actually a form of disrespect. There should never be a situation where if you have a relationship, be it business or otherwise, and you haven't seen somebody for an extensive period of time, the next time you see them with your hands out. Now, I'm not saying that situations don't happen. Situations do happen. But at least approach the situation with a level of respect. And if you don't have that level of respect, then people aren't going to take you seriously. And worst of all, they're not going to want to see you, or they're not going to want you around. So, I I don't know who this is for. I don't know if you're on the end of being or receiving the disrespect or giving the respect. But either way, understand this, that no is, when you're on the giving end, when you want to see the best for people and when you want to help people, sometimes the hardest thing to do is say no. And listen, saying no is not, it doesn't feel good, especially when you know or when you think you can help somebody, even if it's something small. But you have to be careful, because some people, they will use their kindness or their pseudo kindness as a weapon. They use it to use people. They use it to get over on people. They use it to abuse relationships or friendships. So think about what I said. You know, if it makes sense, great. If it don't, then, you know, maybe I've been driving too much. In any event, love you guys. Tenham um ótimo dia. Have an awesome day. And até a breve. I will see you soon. See you on the next video. This is your man Larry, the American Brazilian. And I'm out. Talk to you guys later. É verdade.